All right. Good morning, Benton Harbor. Kind of caught me. I was kind of bobbing my head to the intro. Good morning. You are here today with chat with the chief of the city of Benton Harbor, Michigan. I am Director Dan McGinnis, the Benton Harbor Department of Public Safety. Here with you every Monday at 9 o'clock. Today is November 7th, 2022, and we're here for another Monday. And I'm, of course, kind of excited about this show. We're talking about a severe issue in the city where we're talking about the illegal dumping crisis in Benton Harbor. That is a huge problem. It has been for many years. It continues to be, even despite various cleanups and attempts. There are some people that are out there that live in the community this has been an ongoing problem for a long, long time. So we want to discuss that, talk about that, and I'm going to show you some pictures for those people. We got a lot of Benton Harbor residents that tune in but aren't here. They may see, but they might not see on a daily basis. Maybe their mom or grandma still lives here. They're coming in town, but it's really bad, and people should not have to live in these type of conditions with lack of respect for people dumping in the city. So, with that being said, also talking about legal dumping. Very proud to have our guest today. Will be Mr. Richard Rabbers, who is on. This is Rich Rabbers. We got his ear.
I'm here.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning. All right, so we're gonna give him a quick break here while he's chewing. So I'm excited for Mr. Rabbers to be on for a couple of reasons. One, actually, this came about as he was a listener or watcher, what are we going to call it, for Chat with the Chief. And you've seen him before, some of the comments he makes, and great comments and some things that he's brought up. And that's what Chat with the Chief is about, to engage people. This is not just about me talking at you. We want to be engaged. We want to hear what people have to say. And then people like him, again, Shaquille and Ashley, those people that have stepped up and working their part of the city. I've said before, it's one thing to complain. Yeah, there are issues out there, but it's another thing to be part of a solution. So Mr. Rabbers is one of those solution type guys. He is definitely first of all, let me say he's a city resident. So when they say we want people, from the city, live in the city, lo and behold, and he'll tell you his story. I know for a fact he's been in the city for at least a decade. I'm not sure how long. But he's a city resident. So, we want to hear from our residents. We want to know what things affect you, what things concerns you have. It's not always just about police ticket, whatever. It's about how can we make the city of Benton Harbor better. So, Mr. Rabbers, good morning. Are you still getting comfortable?
Yep, all set.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Rabbers, about you, and then, you listen to Chat with the Chief and us connecting. We knew each other before, but I'll let you get into that. Tell your story, sir. Good morning. Tell us about Rich Rabbers, City of Benton Harbor resident.
Morning, all. 10 years times 3. I've been here since 91. So sailed into town. I was trying to get as close as I could on my boat to my parents, who were aging at the time. So this was where that happened to be. And it's a great community. I came from the Caribbean, really. And I'm enjoy a diverse community. And this certainly is that. And what we need, I think, we've got diversity. We need to get to cooperation and coordination. I've been around the water for a long time, and I bend over and pick up trash when I see it, but that's a small problem. I usually try to find a system to fix problems rather than just go around bending over and picking up trash. My focus here in town related to that was I'd hop in a boat and take my grandkids out in the canal and pick up trash that lined the banks of the canal, which is where I live, the ship canal. And it became apparent to me that we got to stop the trash before it gets in the canal. We all know that, every gutter in probably world says what goes down here goes to feed the fish, you know?
Right.
And that is an awareness kind of very fundamental. But if we don't wake up to the fact that we're sort of killing ourselves slowly by not being aware of our trash issue, then it's an ugly world as well as a poison world. We're slowly poisoning ourselves. So my trash theme, which I've got many themes, my whole ambition is life to contribute and, you know, make a better world. And trash is one of them. Trees, I've got a tree thing, which trees do their part to help make up for some of our problems by cleaning the air and reducing runoff and all those things. But so we're on a trash theme, we're on a dumping theme, we're on a respect theme, really. Uh, you know, you don't go out your back door and throw your trash out. You find a proper place to put it. But too many people, I don't understand why, but don't seem to realize that. So my little experiment this spring, or maybe it was last year, I started trying to get trash out of the canal. I put signs out, and like in the area of the canal, which is a block and a half long, or two, I actually went up by Michigan Works area, because litter from the gas station overflowing their dumpster ends up everywhere. That's a challenge and a problem area. But I just wanted to see if a sign would have an effect, and I found that it did, that the litter was much less. I guess as people's conscience was speaking to them, the sign said something simple like, pick up after yourself. And I found that it worked. So I guess besides that, in my early days of trash awareness, I used to take my grandkids not only to the canal, but we'd walk up Main Street, and we'd make a point every trash day of filling our dumpster with our trash or trash we found. We, you know, they got a little tired of it, but it'll be for their benefit in the long run.
Right.
Pick up trash. I'm trying to, you know, help the next generation be aware, but it's amazing how quickly you can fill a dumpster with trash. And I've
Absolutely.
continued basically that, but in the reality of life, we've got to stop it before it starts. We've got to, as a city, sorry, we've got to create a system. We got to create an awareness. It's a problem, and it's not news. Just about every city meeting I go to, there's talk about how bad it is, or how good this area is, and how bad that area is. It's a problem. It's a concern for everyone. I think I don't know. We got to not just talk about it. We got to figure out what to do about it. Chief, maybe that's some of your responsibility. Maybe it's code. I don't know what, but we've got a few signs out that say don't dump. But compared to how many dump opportunities we've got, which are everywhere, we've got a lot of ravines, we've got a lot of dead ends, we've got a lot of homes that are abandoned, and pretty much everywhere you look, it's always a great surprise when you see a place that is a dead end and it's not trashed. That's very, very rare. Very rare.
And that's sad that that's the case.
A no dumping sign, which I think I've found maybe 3 or 4. I haven't scoured the city, but I have looked pretty hard. We don't have many don't dump signs. I've seen good ones in other areas, and they're visible, and maybe they're effective or not. I don't know. I think it may be our vulnerability. A lot of times we talk about other out-of-towners coming to the city. Well, we're kind of putting the doormat out, really. It feels that we're not doing a lot, even though we talk about it. So, and we do have a lot of ravines, a lot of, you know, sort of invisible spots that are opportunities to dump. It's easier to stop here than run out to the landfill or something. But some cities do things, and I don't know if this is ours, to give like a one drop pass to the local landfill, where you can haul your own stuff out there, no charge, one time, you know, per year, whatever, something like that. Besides general trash, we've got tires, which roll very easily downhill.
Ooh,
and they don't
yeah.
come uphill very well. And they are, it's a national problem. The state has programs. Chief, I sent you a link for grant opportunities. I'm sure they come around every year. But we should try to get on that and, reduce that problem, which is massive. Not just visible trash, but mosquito haven, everything else.
Yes.
Edwards Park, if anybody knows where that is, I don't know, there must be 2,000 tires down there, and they run downhill. Some there'll be some shown in photographs that I got to the chief lately, but
Yeah.
tires are huge. We had a city cleanup. We used to have like fall and spring cleanups. We need to make it a year-round thing. There was a cleanup effort that was coordinated by city commissioners. I think Henderson maybe had been the root of that, but it ended up with a dumpster or two or three down in City Center Park with people dumping piles of trash down there, which that's what was promoted, but didn't seem like the ideal center for picking up trash. Public Works would be a good place, some off center area, but a place. Much cheaper, I would say, to dump a dumpster than to pick up trash every which where in the city. So I would promote a program like that, or I would promote any program that is thought out, systematic solution to our problems. We've got to anticipate what's going to happen. And we've seen what happens. I've seen numbers massive. I know there's a massive effort to put cameras out in potential dump sites. That doesn't come cheap. There are companies that are being paid to clean up trash. That doesn't come cheap. We got to stop the leak.
Yeah. So Rich, let me jump in here. You said a lot, and there's a couple of things I want to reflect on. I got some comments rolling in already. We got Jason Iron here who partnered with the city. Maybe a public dump station would be cheaper in the long run if people use it. Of course, Shaq Turner has been doing some. Good morning, guys. They're doing some actually some very prolific dumping cleanup. He worked with Commissioner Clark Griffin, who did a cleanup in her ward, which went really well. So let's back up a little bit, Rich. Here's what I want to ask you. So you are a concerned citizen. We know that there are concerned citizens out there in Benton Harbor, but in your opinion, do we have enough of us? I think one of the things that concern us greatly is I'm not saying nothing. I'm not snitching. It's not my business. As we watch people drive away who have dumped stuff in alleys and behind houses and abandoned garages, we're not talking about shootings. We're not talking about witnesses to armed robberies. We're talking, quite honestly and quite frankly, the dumping and the quality of life issues, i.e., dumping, i.e., loud music, i.e., abandoned vehicles. Those are really bigger concerns. I would say if you look at just your eye vision in the city, and those are the things that we need people to step up about. Okay, yeah, I'll give you. Maybe somebody might be concerned about speaking up, and or if they witness a shooting and the shooter is at large. Okay, but somebody is dumping in your neighborhood, like where you live or where your mom or grandmom live. Say something. Say something. There's that campaign. If you see something, say something. I'm thinking about starting my own campaign for Ben Harbor that says, "I'm telling." Tell.
Yeah.
There should be no reason there are pickup trucks that are backing into houses with old sofas, old mattresses, trash from cleanouts from other areas. And these are people outside and inside of Benton Harbor. We gotta do better. We're trashing our park, we're trashing Union Park. We got people that are graffiti on the newly painted pavilion. It is up to the people to set the standard of living in their community. If you see something, don't say something. All that does is empower these people to disrespect our community. I've said before, we talk about social justice. That's a huge thing. Social justice is just not about rich versus poor. It's not just about the social justice. I mean, the justice system and the police versus the people. It is the respect of a community that has equity in as far as, not just opportunity, but communication and the ability to govern their community on how they want to see it ran. So again, that was just maybe a mini rant just there. But have you seen anyone else that has been as concerned about this, or
Yeah.
people that have voiced their concern but actually are doing something about this issue? Because we need all of Benton Harbor to be concerned about this.
I think I agree with that absolutely. And if we don't care, you started your rant with that. If we don't care about trash, we don't care about anything. We don't get anywhere. So it does take some leadership. Yes, I think many, many, many care. I would say, far the majority, let's say 90% is a number, care. Maybe 95%. We care. Do we have the power to do something about it? As individuals, we do, but we got to be a system. We can maybe contribute to ideas to help our city help us. We can't just turn it over to the city. We can't just say, well, my yard's a mess, my tree lawn's a mess, city, come pick it up. No, we've got responsibilities, and that would be a reason for a newsletter. People don't quite understand where the line is between property ownership and public property. If we all take care of our own property, that's about 50% of the problem right there. Convenience stores are sort of the beginning of a sort of a trash nightmare. There's a lot of islands that contribute far more than their share, which it's their customers, but yes, we care. That's my statement. And if we show that we care, or if we create a system that we feel like we're contributing to, then the parade grows from there. It's like following the Benton Harbor marching band around. Once the drums are playing, everybody wants to go. So your job and the other leaders of the community need to be the drummers. That's my feeling. We all want to be in the band.
Right.
And we all benefit when we are. And we have fun doing it instead of sort of going nowhere, spinning our wheels.
Right.
So yeah.
So I think there would be a great satisfaction of, again, and I believe that it's my goal to help change the kind of the attitude of the community, to move us from kind of the apathetic to really taking part. Again, I'm really encouraged, and like I said before, when I started this chat with the chief piece back in April, I was terrified because it's a new day. I'm an old dog. Back when we had the radio station, we can have the delay switch on, so somebody says something crazy, whatever, we can kind of edit it out. This is kind of upfront. Here you are, and let's go. So, but I've been really pleased with the the support that's come and residents who have stepped forward. So for example, not you were on here, and we opened up a conversation. You came by here, and speaking of signs, and I didn't grab them, they're over there. You actually purchased some signs yourself, and put them up because you are a concerned citizen. And you hit me right between the eyes, Rich, because you said, hey, has the city ever thought about putting up no dumping signs? And you know what? We didn't. I didn't. Just kind of assumed they were there. But again, we got to start kind of somewhere. So that was good. But then subsequently, we made mention on one of the shows about block clubs. I had a longtime city resident who I met with Friday who wanted to help not only start a block club in his area, but he has a family member on the south side that he's talking to him to get them going. So we made an agreement. We're going to connect in another month. I'm going to pull back up my block club stuff and get that out there. So it's really been a blessing that, Chat with the Chief has really it's done what I wanted to do, but now it's even more, and I appreciate that. And again, like I said before, you might come in here and we're not doing something right, and unfortunately, you said it's either me or code compliance. Unfortunately, those are both me, and we want to hear, yeah, city, you're not doing this, but come with some solutions. How can we help? But what we need is for you to say when you see something, say something, so we can make sure that we are putting those, and we are working on that right now, putting those systems in place. But the systems that need to be in place need to have perpetuity. So at some point, I won't be here. At some point, there'll be new commissioners down the road. At some point, in 20, 30 years, there'll be new leadership. But these same processes and procedures need to be in place. Any city has those, and we're working on that, and we'll get there. But it's really been a blessing. We're gonna look at some of the comments, Rich, and then I want to show Benton Harbor. I want to show you some pictures, and I got some old pictures. Rich has pictures. Unfortunately, Chief Bruce couldn't be on. He's out working, diligently as he always does. But I want to give you an idea of the level of dumping that's going on here, and we're going to talk about. You mentioned Edwards Park. We affectionately call it tire heaven, and we'll see why. But let me see here. We got Jason again. City ban on plastic bags. California ban plastic bags. We can ban plastic bags.
Pretty tough.
I haven't heard that, but here's one thing I'm saying. As you see in these pictures, in a lot of plastic bags that they have, it's a bunch of debris and various things, but that's certainly something to consider. We have our esteemed commissioner, third ward commissioner on. Has any entity, Juanita Henry, has any entity using the canal in the past or now stopped or cleaned up that area? I'm not sure what she means by that as far as a public entity. I know we've had a couple of private, Mr. Rabbers being one of them, but that's something I guess to ask. Also, no, at least some years ago, they were talking about reestablishing the entire canal. Is that still on the table? You remember that, Rich?
I do, and that's a big project. I think it's kind of been taken off the table, but it could come back. There was, I think, $500,000 collected up as a beginning to that, but that money went into rerouting Ox Creek. I think it would be a good thing to clean it up, I guess. Maybe not open it up much further because it's it's become, there's some city property, there's some private property. It would be a nightmare at this point. It would have been a good vision to open it up back when it was maybe the 80s or early 90s. Okay. I don't see it now, but yeah.
Okay. I almost missed this. Forgive me, Miss Connie. I'm a one-man show here, so I got thumbs to the comments. Almost missed you. Miss Connie Dacker says, I hope I'm saying that correctly. There have been many cleanup efforts in the past couple of years that I know of, and was a part of personally. Unfortunately, trash has always been redistributed in and around most areas of the city. We must figure out a way to instill values in the residents. Come on, y'all, you preaching. The importance of taking pride in our homes, yards, communities, in our city. That's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm hearing a volunteer to get a block club started or a neighborhood watch in your area, hopefully. But that's exactly it. We have to, Miss Connie, you said it. We have to have the value as residents, as owners of our own destiny in the city of Benton Harbor to say enough is enough. Again, if I see a pickup truck that's dumping trash, there's not a very good likelihood that he's going to try and intimidate you as if it was a murder. Say something. And back in 19, we bought some cameras, some trail cameras, moved them around, and we made 32 arrests. I made 4 of those myself personally. That's how important it is to me. Of course, there's people also know back when we did the first tire cleanup, we had collected, and we'll show some pictures here. We collected just shy of, a little bit over 1,700 tires. That's 1,700 tires in an 8-hour day. And we didn't even cross Britain. That was strictly the north side. So, we didn't get to Britain. We barely got to the second ward, and we collected, 1,700 tires. So obviously, we've had Eagle come in, investigators. We've been working, but I think going back to your point, Mr. Rabbers, until we get a system,
Yeah.
a system that has perpetuity, that has follow up, and until we have citizens, because the system won't work without the citizens basically being the framework and fabric of it to be able to catch these people. Now, when we caught them, quite honestly, we were towing their cars. You might say, well, that's extreme. Well, no, it's not, because your car is an instrumentality of the crime of dumping, as well as, quite frankly, you have inconvenienced us, I'm inconveniencing you. Now, you might say that might be petty. It's well within our law to do that, because again, the vehicle is an instrument of that crime. But you're not going to be coming to Ben Harbor. I catch you, I'm taking your car. So, until we get some type of hold on this, we need people. So again, we got a couple more comments. We're gonna look at some videos. Good morning, hey Bernice. Good morning. Your Shack, Miss Connie, Dacro, agree. I see the empty lot got clean. Okay, so let me make sure I don't miss any more of these. Oh, here we go. Yes, I'm very interested. Okay, very good. Well, I'm going to give you my email address and phone number for Miss Connie and anyone else who's interested, even going to see this after Chapter Chief is over here, to give me a call and or text, because my phone also equals receives text also. And my number is 927-8425. Now let me say this: you're probably not going to see a whole lot of places that's going, a chief or police, the directors of public safety are putting their direct number online for the world to see. So again, my policy is, I got open door policy. If I'm available, I will see anybody that comes ask for me. That was again shown last week. Now sometimes I'm not available, be patient, but that's my phone up. All right. So I mistyped my email address. So the chief is not real smart today. It is b8city.us. You guys got me all excited. I'm loving this feedback and the input. All right, so guys, this is hopefully you can see this decently. Let me get these off the screen. Let me clear this. One of the things, this platform, I'm not really happy with how the screen sharing is. So here we have, these are some pictures, and these are old pictures. I took these back, I want to say 1920. So here we see, this is an area, I can't remember exactly where this is, but it looks like there's water on the back. This is on the river somewhere. Again, we see here couches and mattresses, right? Here was a house that was being worked on. They dumped some trash right in the back, and then of course, as you know, once that pile gets going, it's a magnet. Other people start to dump, so you can have a junk pile will grow exponentially overnight. Here's a location where this is the back of a house. This is an area of Pavone. Here is again, this is the house again in the Pavone area. This is about the 500-600 block of Pavone. This is just again you see all type of stuff. Buckets, trash bags, broken chairs. These are small examples. Here is an area again where this is the Broadway area. This is a lot that's kind of close to an alley between, I want to say, Broadway and Pearl. Again, you see here couches, TVs, broken tables, lamps. So one of the things we do, Ben Harbor, when we get these, Chief Bruce, myself even, we get in and we dig this. Because one of the things, and I probably want to tip this, but people are so free with dumping trash in Ben Harbor, they forget about taking their own mail out. So that's how we find you. and we track you down and we arrest you. So, but here, this is just a spot that was on Broadway. I'm sure maybe people have seen that. This is behind a house again off an alley. This is the alley that's here where that garage is. Again, you see, and one of the things that we're aware of, tax time, boy, I'm telling you, tax time. There's a proliferation of furniture and mattresses that pop up all around the city. It's almost like clockwork. Taxes, people like to buy new stuff. And instead of just, and here's the thing, guys, let me be clear. I'm sorry, I almost fell over my chair. All you have to do, Ben Harbor, if you have a couch, a mattress, is call down to the city, say, I have an extra item to be picked up. I'm not sure what the charge is. It might be $5, it might be $10. But so what? Hey, city, I got a broken TV and a mattress to be picked up. All right, ma'am, that'll be $15, that'll be $20, whatever, and we'll pick it up on this day. So it's not like the city does not have a mechanism to collect trash. It's just we ignore it. You mentioned tires. This right here is in an alley that is, as you can see, it's that's Odin. We got Main Street that's up to kind of to the left, and Highland to the right. We had a huge proliferation of tires. That's because we got various bootleg people that do stuff around the city, outside the city. I suspect that there is a bootleg kind of jerry rig tire shop / mechanic shop. A lot of these have come from. Again, that says this same area. Here, another area, big pile. As you can see, this is an older pile because you see the leaves, you see trees. Rich, you talked about trees. It's another issue. Down dead trees that we just let sit there and ignore. But again, mattresses. Like I'm telling you, tax return, Christmas time, mattresses and furniture. So this is, I think, I want to say this is an alley that is off of either Superior or Columbus. Tires, again, this is behind, this is Main Street. Here is another area where, again, you seeing the theme, 2 mattresses and a broken chair. And you also got tires there in the brush. Now we see that this is so old that there's leaves on top of the tires and on top of the really old brush there. This is, Rich, you talked about the ravine. This is down the ravine. Now, I almost fell and broke my leg trying to take a picture of this. This is down the ravine, and this would be, I'm not sure if this is the south side or if this is over on the territorial side. Again, it's been a minute since I've taken these, but again, you know what? This is, when you go to the very north side, when you turn on Forest, that one house, and then it's a junks down from there. This is where that is. So you got all these, again, couches. We're seeing the theme. It's usually couches, furniture, tires. Couches, furniture, tires. This is over on the Brunson Hill side. This is, I want to say, I'm not sure if this is the Bend. This might be, no, I'm sorry. This is the end of Ross. So here, furniture. We can tell that this was a set out because we see carpet here. So a lot of times we'll get some slumlords that will drive into the city, and once they put somebody out, they change. Of course, they go in there, do the very minimal painting upgrade, maybe tear the carpet and then take it out. But this is what that is. So this tells us this was a set out from somewhere, some landlord or somebody that had a property that decided to, instead of taking this carpet or paying somebody to come get it the right way, I just decided to dump it in the city. And quite honestly, there's no houses that's over there, so there's no reason for anybody to be over there. If I live over there, I see a truck with stuff on it, I am telling, because here's what happens. And again, here's that different angle, that same pile. When we say there's an epidemic, when we talk about there's dumping, I want to be able to put a face on this, Ben Harbor, so you guys understand what's going on here. This is the Bend, again, north side. When you go to the right, that first street, not LaSalle on that side, but this is that bend, going around the bend. Of course, you see here some children toy boxes. There's a refrigerator bin where you would put your vegetables, your meat, of course, some bags. Now, here's the thing. So whoever this was collected the leaves, put them in bags, but instead of putting them on the curb for the city or the township, whoever to pick them up, we're going to just dump them with the rest of our trash. It's a lack of respect for our city, and we got to do better. So Edwards Park, I don't think many people know it as such. That's a great, beautiful park. It's on my wishful career bucket list to see that restored. There used to be bathrooms down there. There were, I think, grills down there. I think that is a great, if we can restore that, it'd be tremendous. But here is a picture of that hill. When Rich, when you said they rolled downhill, I know you weren't on here. When they roll downhill, this is exactly what it is. Now, here's Benton Harbor. I want to be clear on this. There are thousands of tires, or maybe hundreds of tires, hundreds. You can't see them because this was an early picture. This picture was taken in March of 1920, and the water has not resided yet. I have another picture, it might not be in this group, where when this water goes down, that whole area where you see water is all tires, all tires. Where do these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tires come from? But more so, also, this would have had to have been a constant barrage of whatever truck to dump these. Somebody could have said something. So this is, again, what we call tire heaven. This is another part of tire heaven. Again, hundreds of tires in the ravine. So the city is going to have to pay remediation, money that we don't have, money that could be going towards different things to clean up this thing. And then once we clean it up, we're going to be back at it. Again, the water's covering. Come May, the water had basically receded down to nothing. We can see that literally where you see water is all tires. All tires. So a little close up of tire heaven, tires. This is on top of that ravine going downhill. Again, this is the bend on Pasadena. This is a different area. I can't remember where this is. I think this might be also over there in Brunson Hill area. Look at this. This is an alley. This is in the 1200 block of Monroe, I believe it was, in the alley. Again, of course, this is carpet, probably a clean out. Again, we're back here. This is another behind Broadway. Again, this alleys. Now here, the other thing, citizens, is that these fields, there's really a straight shot view. So look at these homes here of potential people who see this going on. Let us know. Say something. Call us. Give us a description of the vehicle, description of the driver. If you can get a plate, let us know, because we will try to track that down, especially if we get a plate and the plate matches the description of the vehicle that has been described. And quite honestly, we've had pretty good luck. Chief Bruce is good at, for the most part, getting confessions. It's almost rare when we finally track them down that they deny that they did it. So we are putting in place a system. Again, I'm just going to go through the rest of these. This is what our city looks like. But this, let me back up. This is the lack of respect for our city. But additionally, we've allowed it to happen because we've taken a I'm not saying nothing approach. Because we got people, as we've showed last week, we had an anonymous tip of a guy dumping over on the north side, filmed it broad daylight. Guys, this is not nighttime. They're doing this stuff in broad daylight. Now, there is some nighttime dumping, but this is broad daylight. Again, this is an alley, couches, you see, broken furniture. This is all over the city. This is unacceptable. We have to require more, do more. And for the people that are dumping, guys, please respect our city. There is a mechanism, you know, and if $5 or $10 or whatever it is, I don't know, maybe Commissioner Henry knows how much it costs for us to remove an item the proper and correct way, we'll do it. I mean, please, we'll work with you. Just call into City Hall. I don't know the number, so forgive me for that. And we'll work with you. We would rather have not this situation than if somebody's trying to really do the right thing. This is a abandoned garage. This is right off. Actually, this is I want to say Clay Street, Clay, and between Pearl and Broadway. Here's two problems. Yeah, we have a proliferation of dumping, but because our code compliance, we're not operating where we need to be. This probably should have been condemned and probably raised or torn down years ago. So things like this are magnets for dumping. This is an abandoned house on Broadway. Again, Broadway was one of our major arteries. They are tossing trash in, which again goes to another issue. We got to do a better job of having a system. And the key word for today, Rich, is system. As you said, making sure that these things are coming to light. They're put on a schedule. We have benchmarks and dates to a completion date of either getting a house torn down or getting it back into a citizen's hands that has the ability to get that thing back going. So I'm going to stop here. We got quite a few comments we're going to get into. And Rich, I'm gonna let you as I'm trying to filter through these comments. We want to jump in and talk about some. And these are just pictures I have. You have pictures. Chief Bruce has hundreds upon hundreds of pictures. We haven't talked about Valley Drive, another area of the city where we haven't talked about Riverside. It is mind-boggling how those places look. So, Rich, what's your thoughts on this, sir? Again, I'm gonna go through these comments and get these going.
Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I dialed something that I had on my contact list as a dumping hotline that the city promoted. I don't know how many years ago, but as new as my phone, which is several years. I got a different number. I don't know what I got, but you said call you, text you, whatever, email you. I think we all know that we don't always get a reply back when we do that sort of thing. That's one of the great things about your show this morning. If we go do our 3 minutes at a commission meeting, you speak, but you don't get any feedback back, or feedback is rare. So this two-way channel is very good. We have to create the other half of the channel that functions most of the time. A dumping hotline might, if we answer those calls, that might be a very effective method of catching somebody in the act. If we email, that's not going to catch anybody in the act, I don't think. I'm glad to hear that so many arrests have been made. I don't know what time frame, but there's a lot more more work to be done in that area. The cost, maybe it would impact a dumper if they realize that I want my pothole fixed, but the city's spending money cleaning up the dump sites all around the city. I recognize a lot of the photos that you shared. And of course, there are more. Every one of those represent, basically a block of new pavement. If we can get our act together, there's money going out the window that we need. As far as, Second Ward had a cleanup. I know Fourth Ward had a cleanup that was pretty effective with a couple of city dump trucks coordinating in that effort. Second Ward did a cleanup in the summer, and must have been a communication breakdown. I don't know what, but those bags some of them are still intact. Many are broken up and distributed in the wind because they were never cleaned up. They're still there. So coordination.
So Rich, let me get into some of these comments here.
Yep.
We got Commissioner Ron Singleton, who is been a commissioner for many years. He's actually the chair of the Public Safety Committee. Really, great guy. We have a great relationship. He's very supportive of public safety. A lot of things that we do run through him. So I really, really appreciate his leadership that he's shown and guidance for me and us as a public safety department. So he says that we should adopt an ordinance to make it unlawful to transport garbage junk without first notifying inspection to getting permission. So Commissioner Singleton, we have, and I don't have time to pull it up now. So what we've been doing is we put together basically a dumping cheat sheet, if you will. there are state laws and regulations that govern this. So it's very, very, very clear, those things. So those and some of the state laws have more teeth in them than what our local laws are. But I would definitely be open to, I'm gonna write that down, to maybe expanding our nuisance law. Actually, that's going to be coming up for discussion here anyway. But yeah, there's something we can look at in our ordinance. But I think we've done the research where we look at either city ordinance or state law regulation to get the best bang for our buck. So to give you an example, it is illegal for a regular citizen to haul more than 6 tires at a time. Anything above that, you have to have a permit that's issued by the state, and those, of course, you have to be like an actual tire recycling place or a legitimate automotive place to be able to have that many tires, and even that is regulated. So that is a good point. We have that. Okay, I don't want to get lost here. All right, bear with me here. We got Commissioner Henry. She says most of the trash is being recycled all over the world except BH. Recycling is key. So Commissioner Henry, and one thing I love about Commissioner Henry, when she gets on something, she goes with it. She pushes. And I agree. I like recycling. One of the things, though, Commissioner, that we would have to do, which is kind of, I think we're kind of talking about it. It kind of there's a certain learning for the mindset of recycling. For people to appreciate the fact of recycling is good for the environment. You know, we use the word environment and we think about it kind of generally for like, and I guess woods and whatnot, but the environment is where we live. So if we do it recycling, which I totally advocate, to have the education for people to appreciate and to participate in the recycling program. It would be no good to have a recycling program and it operates at 20%. So I'm all with that. I know there has been some discussion that she has, and guess that can continue. Miss Connie said these pics are so disheartening. I agree, sister. People are free dumping mainly because not enough residents are upset, quote, about it. Residents act as if it's normal behavior. I agree. It's not. I love the 3 exclamation points. I promise you that if I ever see any potential act of dumping, I'm calling public safety immediately. Yes, I'm telling. Thank you. That's what we need. And it's not, again, get off this snitching stuff. This is our community, our city, our block. Our kids have to play around this mess. And we didn't talk about there are diseases, especially with tires. Tires create an extreme environmental hazard to the point where that tire cleanup in Edwards Park, Tire Heaven, is going to take remediation suits, those white suits, because you have mosquitoes, bugs, there's snakes, frogs. I'm going to tell you, your chief ain't scared of almost nothing except snakes. So I'm not going down there. I'm going to be on the hill pulling them up. But it breeds that type rats, raccoons. We've had complaints of people who live on the backside of properties that live behind junk collectors, hoarders, and they're getting rats, they're getting raccoons in their yard. It becomes a public health issue when you're attracting vermin. So we got to be careful with that. Again, guys, I'm gonna try and get through all this. I know we spent a lot of money on this. Ooh, okay, hold on a second. Here's somebody. Here we go. This is a Tankia Thompson. This is where city jobs should be created, as well as street sweepers to clean up the entire community. I think we just bought a brand new street sweeper, so I'm hopeful. I don't know if it's in operation yet. We do have that. Thank you for your comment, Ms. Thompson. We got Shaq here. What we got here? Again, guys, the comments are rolling in, so bear with me. Tankia Thompson, unfortunately, that's not. Okay, well, we're gonna get it. Commissioner Singleton, where is that at? If you caught dumping, your picture and name should be publicly posted like sex offenders. So, do you remember about 3 weeks ago, Ben Harbor? I talked about that. What do we think about posting? These right here, obviously, I don't have a problem with. But we talked about posting people with outstanding warrants, people that we're looking for. What we felt about that. So we're still looking at that. I'm going to actually ask our risk management attorney to make sure we're doing the right thing. But yeah, we're going to post. You dumping? I'm posting that. I don't care what you think. That is what it is. So yep, Commissioner, we agree 100%. Okay, I think I've caught up. Forgive me if I've skipped you. Let me see. I'm sorry if I missed you. Ms. Bernice Mason, watching from SMCA warehouse, working with the water distribution. Excellent. Well, thank you for your work with the water distribution. Once again, Benton Harbor was faced with a crisis with the water piece, but of course, being Benton Harbor, still we rise. We got answers. I think last I saw, we're at 99% completion rate. That's what Benton Harbor. That's what we can do, guys. When we get a problem and we hit it and tackle it with help from everybody, I thank God that everyone was first. People were hesitant when people were coming by with the paperwork to get their lead lines replaced. Then we went through. We explained it to them. You know, people of Benton Harbor explained it to them, and then now it went like wildfire. So I think we've completed that project well ahead of schedule, and that shows you what we can do if we come together. Now I'm saying, I'm asking, I'm begging you. Just like we came together on the lead line replacement and water crisis piece as a community, let's do the same, if not more, for this dumping. Clean this up. Let's make sure that people know. Again, I use the example, driving through Eau Claire. People might be going 50, 60 miles an hour on Sawyers Parkway. Got to Eau Claire, boom, 25. Not a second over that. Well, because they have their community basically trained to, when you come into their town, respect them. You got to do the same thing here. So, you know, that is really kind of my position on this. This is, remember, the police are the police are not responsible for policing a community. Let me say that again. The police are not responsible for policing a community. It's the people that are responsible for dictating what's acceptable, and the police just execute the will of the people. Okay, we got that? Does that make sense? So, you know, it's not for the police to, you know, beat you into submission so you stop dumping. It's for the people to say enough is enough. So that's how we work together, and that's what we're trying to have in place here. I think I got through everything. Again, I thank God for the people that's on here. Is Carmen Page. She said system. Yes. It's a collaborative effort. City must enforce the code. You are correct. So that's a whole nother topic of conversation. We are going to get better at enforcing codes. Some people won't like it, but that's what we're going to have to do. And, you know, ultimately, the main complaint that we get, as far as I get, is generally dealing with, you know, not so much, you know, the violent issue. We know that exists. You guys know us as a police department. We're working on solutions for that. But the thing we get most is this dumping, abandoned cars in my yard, parking on streets, those things. And we hear, oh, you should be worrying about, you know, trying to find some real criminals, some real crime. Well, but this is, if a citizen calls about, you know, a non-functional car, or a car parked backwards on the street, or in a no parking zone, or there's dumping in a place, and we make contact with you, and maybe you get issued a citation, you can't say that that is not important, because it was important enough for that citizen to call. And just because it's not an armed robbery or a assault with intent to murder, it's still a legitimate issue for the citizens of Benton Harbor. That is technically a crime, and that's what we also have to enforce. We need to enforce. But again, if we get the people to police themselves, to say enough's enough, to help tell on these people so we can catch them in the act, or give us some clues as far as tracking them down. Again, vehicle description, plate number. You might even know, hey, that's Johnny. I went to high school with him. That ain't right. I'm calling. That's what we need. So, Rich, I really appreciate you bringing this up. The idea when we met, I thank you for being a chat with the chief listener. I thank you for being open to come in and discuss. I thank you for being open to come on here. I know it's probably not easy, maybe a little nervous, kind of used to it now. And I thank you for your comments. And I also thank everyone that's on here that's agreeing that, hey, we control our own destiny. We take back our city. We decide what's right and what we want to have done. And I'm going to give this last comment from Miss Connie. Actually, two comments. And then I'm going to let Rich say some last words and we're going to get out of here. Okay. Miss Connie said, we have to first respect our own city. Yes. Respect is earned, not just given. When anyone comes and sees how the city looks currently, they view BH, the city, the council, and residents as a joke. Again, the key strategy is finding a way to initiate the unlearned and relearned behavior. You are a genius. I need to have you on here too. Well, I'm going to connect. Please make sure you email me or call me, Miss Connie, because you got some great things you're saying. Here, last one here, Tankia. And ma'am, I hope I'm saying your name properly. If not, forgive me. Tankia Thompson says, create a dump site where fall cleanup, spring and summer cleanup, where residents are given dates to dispose of these items. People, residents of the community, too, need to be more effective in the community. I just moved to BH in August from Kalamazoo, and I'm from Wisconsin, being in Michigan 3 years, and they have nightly street sweepers, snow removal. Also implemented property owners are fined for grass, snow removal, paint, etc. I think, this is all caps, I think officials need to do better and implement a plan and structure. Jobs, again, can be created and crime rate could go down. Miss Thompson, I thank you for your comment. I totally agree. And I'm going to say with your all caps comment, I think officials need to do better. I'm saying I agree with you. I'm an official. We will do better. Hold us accountable, guys. Hold us accountable. Do your part, but hold us accountable. So, we are working on getting systems in place, doing better, revamping code compliance, getting our officers, the police officers, to realize when there's not no robbery going on or home invasion in progress. If you see a abandoned car, or if you see somebody driving down the street with junk on their back of their pickup truck that's not metal scrap but junk or couches or 4 or 5 mattresses, get behind them because they look in the dump. There's nobody that's driving through Ben Harbor with 4 or 5 mattresses that's just joyriding. So again, I thank you for that. Let me make sure I don't have any other ones. We got less than a minute left. Again, I thank you all. Rich, any closing comments? Again, I appreciate you and you things you do. Keep it up, and let's keep working together.
I clearly there's a lot of energy that's in favor of solving this problem. I think closing Valley Drive, which has no purpose other than to lead anyone to a dump site, might be in order. Putting those signs up that I gave you and adding to them might be helpful, would be helpful. Making a clear stand, a news release, whatever, that we're getting serious. We've been serious, but we're upping the amperage on that. Impounding vehicles, making a clear statement that if you're caught, it's not a fine, it's a loss of wheels that is going to go along with what you're doing if you're doing something wrong. All those things maybe will add up and make a difference. Everyone that's commented is clearly enthused by the effort, and this probably will get watched more, and hopefully comments will keep going, guide you and code enforcement into thinking about some good actions. I appreciate the time, and your chats are very good to bring the community and you together, sort of open the wavelength. I think it's great, Chief. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and thank you for those that are on here. Again, Noah here on Chat with the Chief. This is for communication. It's for full duplex, goes both ways. Again, if there's some things that you think we're not doing right, we want to hear that. We don't. This is not sugarcoat. This is not. We want to pat ourselves on the back. This is real, dealing with real issues, and my goal is to get people, like you said, get energy behind it and some support. And I'm gonna be looking for people to contact me to, hey, what can I do in my neighborhood, in my area? So again, I thank you guys for that. Ms. Connie says, thank you, Richard, for your continued efforts and working to create a clean Ben Harbor. So Ben Harbor, with that being said, I thank you all for tuning in for another episode of Chat with the Chief. We'll be on talking about illegal dumping. Longtime city resident Rich Roberts has been on. He's got one more point. and we're gonna let him say that.
I just want to say it's a mindset from outsiders or insiders that we can do whatever we want. Nobody's going to bother us. That's got to change. We got to show that there's power behind these words and this effort, that if you're being bad, we're not going to tolerate it.
That's it. All right, Rich. Well, I thank you much. I look forward to working with you and also people on here. We're working with Shaq, and I thank the commissioners. Again, I thank Commissioner Henry and Commissioner Singleton are doing a great job with the support of our community on this environmental issue. So, Ben Harbor, I thank you much, guys. Please spread this word, share this link, letting people be aware, and we're going to keep hitting this. So, thank you much again. Until next week, same time, same channel. You've been on with Chat with the Chief, Ben Harbor Department of Public Safety. I'm Director Dan McGinnis, and we're on here every Monday at 9 a.m. And we're talking about real issues that's going to help improve our city. So until next week, thank you. God bless, and have a good week.